This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.
I guess we're going to get into a few news stories in a minute here. One is from Italy in honor of you, right? This is hot news from Italy, toilet news. That I think you would appreciate. The other is from London, which is your old stomping grounds, back in the missionary days, right?
That's correct.
Is that where you learned English in London, or did you know English before?
No, I knew English. My English was, I love you. You want to dance with me? What is your name? In that sequence.
Welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast, where we talk all things poop, toilets, and sanitation. Through insightful news, impact stories, and quirky humour, we aim to discuss and highlight the critical role toilets play in whisking poop out of our lives, the impact toilets have, or lack thereof, in the health and wellness of humanity, and what ZuLoo is doing to help solve the current global sanitation crisis.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the ZuLoo Poodcast. We are so excited to have you listening in, tuning in, watching in whatever platform you're watching on. We are excited today. We've got our favorite best friend, Tommaso Cardullo, with us in the studio. So Tommaso, welcome to the ZuLoo Poodcast.
Thank you. Wonderful to be here.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, amico mio.
I love it. Well, Tommaso, I'd love it if you could give our listeners a little bit of background into who you are and maybe something you learned about ZuLoo tonight during our dinner that surprised you.
Thank you, Kelsey. Well, my name is Tommaso. Cardullo is my last name. I was born and raised in Italy. I just came to the States at age 25 to go to school. And then an American girl conquered my heart. And the rest is history. A beautiful history. I am a fashion designer by choice, by experience. Sometimes I consider myself more like an experience designer, just because I like fashion, but I like also to provide and to partake experience in every aspect.
And that's, is it TommasoCardullo.com? Is that your?
Yeah, that's my, yeah.
Okay. That's your brand.
It's a brand, but just where people can see what I do and experience my world. Anyway.
Yeah. You might not be able to afford the clothes that he makes, but you can always save up, cash in your 401k, maybe buy a pair of shoes. Tommaso Cardullo. That's what I've been saving up for.
And it'll be worth every penny.
Every penny.
Every penny.
Who cares how many zeros are on the end, right?
No, my philosophy is very simple: win, win, win. I want my clients to find beautiful things that makes them excited, happy, and it's a win for them. I use artisan from Italy. I pay them good money because I want them to really use the gifts, the talents, the tradition of the crafts that they learn. It's a win for me because if everybody is happy, I'm happy. It's like a 3-leg stool. So I just feel like win, win, win. Everybody gets what they want and life is good.
Nice. Yeah, we were just talking about Melissa Seavey, who was on the show
I love Melissa.
A few weeks ago and designing her dress. What was that like? I mean, I saw the dress, beautiful.
That was one of my favorite dress ever. Mm-hmm. So Melissa, this beautiful lady, came to me and she brought her grandmother dress. Wow. She brought her mother dress and we made a dress by bringing those two dresses. So like 3 generations celebrate not only an heirloom, but just they were connected. And the dress was beautiful.
So you brought both materials of both dresses in to make a new dress for Melissa.
Exactly.
Okay, I did not know that.
So the three of them literally celebrated. But I got this beautiful thank you letter from Melissa's mother, just expressing how touched and how grateful she was for creating this. Again, it was not just it was a beautiful dress. It was a dress with a soul, a dress with a heart. It was beautiful.
It was made with love and care.
It was made with
It
love
was
and
made
care.
through generations.
Yeah,
So beautiful.
Everybody there was a story in every inch of the fabric. So
this was her wedding dress.
it was a wedding dress.
Oh, I want to see. I haven't seen it. Feeling left out.
Yeah, very pretty.
Go to Melissa's Instagram. It's, she's got it over there. So
Beautiful. I love it. Well,
awesome.
We'll turn over to Darren. He's got our news minute. Excited to see what's
well, we
cooker.
I guess we're going to get into a few news stories in a minute here. One is from Italy in honor of you, right? This is hot news from Italy, toilet news that I think you would appreciate. The other is from London, which is your old stomping grounds back in the missionary days, right?
That's correct.
Is that where you learned English in London, or did you know English
No,
before?
I knew English. My English was, I love you. Do you want to dance with me? What is your name? In that sequence.
Okay. That's all you needed. That's all you
I
needed.
But then, in England, I learned to speak the language, understand it. I mean, I could read it, to be honest with you, but my ability of speaking and understanding were limited. London was a beautiful place to become familiar with this wonderful language.
Nice. So we'll touch on London, but before I get into that, maybe we were talking about right before the show about ZuLoo. What besides our friendship, we've known each other for
decades.
Why come on the ZuLoo Poodcast and maybe risk your designer reputation? Because this is not as maybe when we talk about toilets, it's not as beautiful or sexy as a wedding dress.
Yeah, but as I mentioned to you, I see myself as an experienced designer. And one thing that I loved about ZuLoo that today became even more apparent and more meaningful is that is a company with a soul, that there is a purpose, there is a contribution to improve and elevate people's lives. Sanitation is a very important aspect of living well.
Yes.
And living healthily and enjoying the gift of life. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we oversee it, sometimes we overlook it. But if we understand, like I understood today, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
It truly is a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. In so many ways on every level.
I thought it was beautiful what you do. And, the contribution that you make in society to help these people to understand the importance of sanitation at a very basic ground,
And we have the Italians, ancient Romans to thank for that, right? Your ancestors, right? Yeah. So thank you.
Well, it was funny. It was just literally a couple of weeks ago. I don't know why. It was early in the morning, probably around 5:30 in the morning. I said, what is the greatest invention ever? All of a sudden, I had this impression, I said, wow. Honestly, I was in the toilet. So I said, the toilet is such a perfect invention. I mean, they were brilliant in creating such an innovative and revolutionary thing. And thanks to the Romans.
Yeah.
My ancestors. So kudos to them.
Kudos to them.
And then serendipitously, a few days later,
exactly,
you get a text from Darren saying, hey, would you come on to talk about toilets on the Pōōdcast?
There are no coincidences in the world. I feel like coincidence is God's signature to stay anonymous.
That's true.
Love it.
We will make this happen.
Awesome. Well, so I need to get your comment and your insight on these two news stories that just came up. One is from the Washington Post, where the Italian Supreme Court has handed down a ruling. Supreme Courts have been in the news a lot lately, right? About a lot of important issues. This one, they found that a neighbor's noisy toilet is a human rights violation.
Oh.
And so this is a case, and apparently the Italian Supreme Court, I did not know this, but they are required to hear every case, regardless of how big it is. And this is a case that's been in the lower courts in Italy for 19 years.
Oh my gosh.
And,
wow.
And, they say Italy's justice system is not the fastest. But, that's what you love about the Italians. They take their time.
It takes their time to eat.
Take their time to eat and just live life. And the courts are no different. No rush. Anyway, but the facts of the case are there was a neighbor who had a noisy toilet, or every time it would flush, it would make a gurgling sound. Mm-hmm. And the water tank was in the wall right next to the headboard of their neighbor's master bedroom. Oh. And so every time they would flush, or they get up in the middle of the night and flush, all this water sound would permeate through and wake them up, right?
That would be obnoxious.
So anyway, they brought a case and they kept getting denied. And anyway, so it kept going all the way up to the Supreme Court of Italy, right? In Italy, the Supreme Court said, yes, a noisy toilet, it violates the Constitution, the Italian Constitution. Let me just read it here, make sure I got it right. Compromised their quality of life and violated the right of free exercise of daily habits. And so, anyway, there you have it. So they awarded the couple, it's something like, is it $10,000?
I got
US
lost there
dollars.
somewhere. They awarded the couple who had the noisy toilet?
No. So the defendants were two brothers that had the toilet, and then the couple lived on the other side. So the couple sued and kept getting denied by the lower courts. Oops.
Right.
And so finally the Supreme Court of Italy says, no, I think the couple has a right to a peaceful night's sleep. And so they awarded.
Okay, in my mind, that was the other way. Daily habits of going to the bathroom,
right?
flushing.
So a peaceful night's sleep does not outweigh. So because the brothers could always just wait.
That does
wait to flush it till the morning when everybody's awake.
Sure,
right?
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, so comments from an Italian's perspective, is that the right?
Do you vote? Which
is that the right decision?
Yeah, is that the right decision?
Well, it's.
Or you could say no comment.
Well, for me, again, I am one of those persons that always strive to achieve a win-win. I think if the couple approach the two brothers, that the brothers try to avoid the issue. They have the right to verbalize and voice their concern. If they didn't approach the two brothers, then I don't think they have a case. But if they were educated after years and they've been denied, I mean, they should have done something like maybe insulation, or like you were suggesting, maybe. Wait until the morning for flushing the toilet, I mean, simple things like that.
Simple things like that.
Freedom is an important, freedom and respect, in my book, a very important initiative to be taken seriously. Because if my freedom compromises somebody else's freedom, then it's an abuse.
Yeah, good point.
So it sounds like you agree with the court. They came to the right decision.
Yeah, I think so.
Took them 19 years to do it, but
better late than never.
That's
better
right.
late than never.
That's true. That's true.
I'm there with you.
Okay. Well, this other article from this is from the London Times, is less controversial because nobody likes it.
Oh, good.
And this is a wet wipe island that has been formed in the Thames River. That's about the size of 2 tennis courts.
Oh, wow.
And it's comprised of wet wipes, the kind that says biodegradable, flushable, wet wipes, right? These have found their way into the Thames River and have lodged themselves along the bank, and it's a huge problem. And so now it's all the ministers and government is talking about it, trying to get the public to stop flushing these things, please, just another example of the, history of London when it comes to.
There's so many. I feel like every river in London has some sanitation
some issue, right? Would you swim in the Thames River?
Oh, no way. No way. No way.
Well, if you ever got in trouble, there's a wet wipe island floating out there that you could just grab onto. And
safety, yeah.
Oh man.
Anyway, so that is in the news.
They need an adopt a river program or something out there.
Yeah, the Thames gets the end of it all, right?
Oh.
Anyway, just no controversy. It's just that it is.
It is, and it's disgusting. And stop buying flushable wipes. Maybe
that's
something a better option. Get a bidet.
Get a bidet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember visiting you in Italy, and
and
I think I had not seen a bidet before. This is like 20 years ago.
This was your first time. I want to hear this story. This is your first time ever seeing a bidet?
I don't think I'd seen a European bidet because it's not like a built-in one like the one I've got.
Yeah,
right? It's a separate unit altogether.
No, it's a separate unit, yeah.
And I think I was washing my clothes in it or something like that. And you came in and you scratched your head like, Americans.
Oh, no.
You sort of, shook your head
that's
in confusion.
European culture.
I know. We were just clueless. Like, what do we do with this? I guess we wash our clothes.
Yeah, some people
wash their feet.
Wash their feet.
Their feet in it,
or their clothes, like you said.
Yeah,
but they are more sanitary.
Right. Well, that's why the Italians are so clean. It's just they got everything clean.
But we surely, a bidet is a daily ritual.
So you grew up with a bidet?
Yeah, every day.
All right,
every day was our ritual. Just especially in the summertime, it was even more so.
Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah, it just I don't know. That's what we were taught to do, and that's what we did.
So when you came to America then, right, and you're probably like, where is the bidet? What did you...
I took a shower.
You just...
I said,
I just take a shower.
This is more time consuming. And, but took a shower.
Yeah.
But in Italy, it's just... the way it is. It doesn't matter if you are, now bidet in more exclusive, posh homes, they do have a bidet as almost like a status symbol.
Yeah.
In Italy, it didn't matter if you were...
Right. Everybody's got one.
Blue collar or white collar, or rich, poor, or everybody had a bidet in their bathroom.
It's a lesson America could really learn from.
Honestly speaking, it's very, it's convenient.
Yeah.
I do have now in my toilets, but I think it's better to have it by
just
itself.
A separate bidet.
Yeah, I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I thought about that when we renovated our house. Like, do I do a separate bidet? I just do the combo for space, right?
But that's exactly for space. We did the same.
But still,
thing.
I miss it though. I go to really like a fancy hotel, 5-star hotel in the States here, or we just came back from a place, a really, really nice Airbnb, and I'm like, I would give it a 5 stars, but there's no bidet. I gotta rate it to 2 or something. It's like just terrible when you're used to one, and all of a sudden it's taken away from you, or you don't have it. It's like all of a sudden, what do? Yeah, you take a shower. I think I did. I think I took more showers.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do.
Anyway.
Man. Well, Tommaso, I'd love to, the next portion of our podcast today, we wanted to read a ZuLoo recipient story. These are so special to read because they are straight from our ZuLoo recipients who have received a soylet from us.
Oh, beautiful.
It's interesting to hear, there's so many different kinds of stories out there. Women whose lives have been changed because now they have economic power because they don't have to walk 2 kilometers to a toilet once a day, and there's people who've become disabled and all of a sudden had their disability not matter as much as it did before because the toilet makes it easier for them to handle their disability in their home. Anyway.
That's beautiful.
So I'd love to read us the story and we'll just kind of respond to it with our thoughts.
Love it.
Okay. This is Kashik.
The first time I realized my brother was starving himself was my birthday. I woke up excited to go and buy some coconut balls to have with cardamom tea as a birthday breakfast treat. That has always been a birthday tradition in my family. We are coaxed awake on our birthday by the phantom smell of cardamom and the coming sticky sweet taste of coconut. Sitting up, I began speaking to my young brother Jayadev, assuming he was awake. He always wakes up earlier than I do, and he loves coconut balls even more than I do. So I assumed he would have his eyes open, waiting for me to pull him up onto his chair. Jayadev has been paralyzed from the waist down since he was a baby, and I have looked after him since. That day, as I pulled my stiff body up from lying down on the hard stone floor, squatted and leaned over Jayadev to see his face, I noticed his eyes were barely open, and he was making a soft moaning sound. Jayadev, are you awake? Are you okay? He didn't reply. He didn't seem to be able to. Maybe you are just hungry. Shall we go get some coconut balls? Jayadev grunted, and I knew he meant no. What about just some water then? Jayadev grunted harder. I tried to feed him some water, but he clenched his teeth. I went straight to the doctor and brought him to the house. He's starving. What? He's starving, Kashik. He has anemia, he's dehydrated, and he's malnourished. He's starving. I couldn't believe it. I would always make sure there was plenty of food and water in our home, and whenever I came home and checked the pots and bottles, they were empty. He also seems to have toxic shock. It's likely he's been holding his bladder to avoid relieving himself. I was completely shocked. I had been working so hard at the bangle stall, I hadn't noticed how thin Jay was getting. He had always been thin, you see. For days I stayed home from work, making sure Jay ate, drank, and rested, and relieved himself. Carrying him to a secluded area where he could go to the toilet in peace. I held him whilst he squatted. And this is when I noticed the bruises on his legs and hips, and how his whole body shook when he strained. Later at the house, I spoke with him. Why have you been starving yourself, brother? Jai looked down shyly and seemed reluctant to speak. Tell me. I don't want to go to the loo. Why? Because it hurts. Everything hurts. I can't walk far, which means I have to relieve myself in front of other people. People we know. To add to this humiliation, I often fall because it's hard for me to squat and someone nearby has to come and help me stand up. And in doing so, they can see and smell what I have done. I'm humiliated and I would rather starve. I was heartbroken. Mostly because there was nothing I could do to fix this situation alone. And finally, I don't have to do it alone. When ZuLoo's project came to my village, we were able to put a toilet right at our doorstep. And now everything is different. Better. Jay is much happier, eating and drinking and using the toilet whenever he needs, with dignity. And because of this, I'm able to work more and have increased my daily earnings. I feel hopeful and proud and happy. We are happy.
Beautiful. Wow. Speechless.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've read Kashik's story. And I mean, you just imagine, a family member I've been a caretaker of a family member who's had a difficult time moving. And I think those of us who haven't been in that position don't realize how humiliating it is for that person to get help with such a basic daily need. And so to be able to have a private space where that can be taken care of, just one-on-one without a whole village. I mean, I can't imagine my whole family watching, but much less like an entire village. So I'm always inspired by Kashik's story. I'm inspired by all of our ZuLoo recipient stories, but Kashik's is one with his brother that always strikes me as really delicate.
Powerful.
Well, and it's common, I think, I say it's common, but as far as, not taking in food, not taking in water, because they know, okay, that means I don't have to go to the restroom. Right?
Yeah. And
so to do that, obviously consistently over time. I mean, we met people like that, they either had a traumatic experience at the loo and they don't want to go back, right? Or they, so many different stories like that where they, obviously it's impacting their ability to function in other areas, right? Without proper nutrition and what have you. And so, as far as, having, and when it references the soilet, these toilets that we build, they're, they don't require water or sewer pipes. They're all self-sustaining because they're earthworm driven. Earthworm breaks down the material, and so just the design of it makes it self-sustaining, right? As long as you keep feeding, putting material into the system, earthworms are happy.
Yeah.
It no smell, no odor, it breaks it down, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, having one of those right there in your, a few steps away from your house, enables them to avoid those kind of dangerous situations, especially for children or, young girls and what have you, right? So that's sort of, this story, I like it too. It just sort of illustrates that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, something that we probably take for granted.
Yeah,
Never
absolutely.
thought about it, but look at the difference it makes in the life of this man, his brother, his family, the entire village, and I just love it. It's fascinating.
Yeah. Right down to like, I would, just speaking of things we might overlook, right? I would never consider not eating my favorite food on my birthday, not eating my birthday cake because I didn't want to like pass it later. I was too afraid of that or too embarrassed of that.
Yeah.
Like that's just such a privilege we have that that doesn't even cross our minds, right? And to hear that from Kashik, that his family, that's at the forefront of their minds because that's at the forefront of their daily living of these issues that they're coming into contact.
One thing is, lately I have learned that when we educate, when we create awareness, a new world unfolds before our eyes.
Yes.
Even in my personal business, when, you were mentioning, my clothes are expensive. But when you educate people, it help them to understand the difference between something that is done with top quality, something that becomes your go-to outfit that will last you, years and years, And once you educate them, that becomes irrelevant, the price. And the same thing with this beautiful story that is touching. Once we are educated on what something like a sanitary toilet can create in the life of someone that has been deprived, automatically our eyes open, our hearts start beating faster, and our understanding is clear, So I think it's beautiful what you read, and even though it was sad, but it's also like, I love that he said he is happy. We are happy.
Yeah.
I am happy that this beautiful man was able to have a more dignified life because of it.
Yeah.
Well done. Thank you for making that difference.
Well, it's we couldn't do it without our in-country partners that we work with in India. We couldn't do it without the engineers that we have an interview. We did an interview earlier today with the actual inventor of the earthworm technology toilet in Ghana. Oh. And he was somebody that was forward thinking and thinking, how he was seeing how things could break down with earthworms, and he kept thinking, I can design a toilet that does the same thing. And that technology has been replicated thousands of times now, not just in Ghana, but India and elsewhere, right? And so just that, somebody that's an innovator and thinker like that, has such a big impact, So we're just kind of carrying the torch a little bit,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Grateful to be in this space to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, Tommaso, thank you for joining us on today's show. Thank you for your wisdom and insight. And
delightful. Thank you for having me here. This has been an eye-opening experience for me, and really has touched me. So thank you for the opportunity.
And we need to give you a gift so you can...
I was coveting those things.
Now they're here.
Now they're mine.
They are yours. Covered away.
Next time you're sitting on the toilet contemplating
what the greatest invention is,
you can hold one of these in each hand, squeezing them.
I can squeeze the... whatever you call it.
Yeah, what do you call it in Italian? What is it?
Cannot say it.
Let's see.
That's awesome.
Anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Kelsey. Such a delightful pleasure. You're beautiful people. Thank you.
Thank you. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.
Thank you for listening to the ZuLoo Poodcast. Follow us on social media at our links in the show notes below. To learn more, visit our website, ZuLoo.org. If you liked the podcast, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. For even more ZuLoo fun, send us an email with your toilet stories to podcast@zuloo.com for a chance to be featured on the podcast. This episode of the ZuLoo Poodcast is sponsored by ZuLoo Inc., a benefit corporation dedicated to the goal of universal access to toilets, hygiene, clean water and sanitation through the power of social enterprise. Learn more at ZuLoo.com.